Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. And thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this video where it says that Black Brits are jealous of Black Americans. Now, I have seen several videos of Black Brits always coming for Black people and telling them that they do not have culture and they do not know where they come from. I think that it's a very wrong thing to say to people, knowing fully well their history, right? And you all can be telling people that they do not have culture when you are practicing or when you are also stealing from their culture. You can wear, what is it, lace wigs with all laid up, and you are coming to tell a Black person that you do not have culture because I see one on your head. You have nails all over, and you're coming out to say they don't have culture. Why are you wearing them? They all studied that. Raps and so many other things. What is it? Like literally, we all grew to their everything, both music to entertainment with fashion and till down hairstyle and all that. And I am sorry to say this, but I do not know anything about Black braids that I can tell you that I can identify with. So next time when you all choose to come out to probably like disrespect people, I want you all to know that people do not know anything about you. And the earlier you all learn to come together, the better for us. Let's get into this video.
Black Americans, we think that we're superior over all Black people, and that we don't even realize that in their land, there's people who came during Windrush, which is when a bunch of Caribbean people came to the UK to work for their oppressor, and that there's people who came during that time who are getting sent back to the Caribbean, and that we don't understand our privilege. And it made me realize where all this like online friction between a lot of Black British people towards Black Americans coming from. It's coming down to jealousy. I try to tell everybody the difference between Black British people and Black Americans is that Black British people have an immigrant story. They have an immigrant background. Whereas in America, Black Americans, we're not looked at as foreign.
Oh, bless him. Went on Wikipedia, read 2 lines, came on TikTok thinking he did something. But you know what? Let me help you out. I'm going to give you a little history lesson.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Uninterested. Uninterested.
Over was to rebuild England after the damage of World War II, which took place between 1939 to 1945. Stay
It was from 1948 to 1973. Well, go ahead with your sound.
with me. Now, if most islands in the Caribbean did not get their independence until the early 60s and 70s, and they came to England before that, it means that the Windrush generation came here as British citizens.
It says you came as the saddest of citizens of the UK colonies. You did not have status. It says you were tricked to come there. You were tricked.
Meaning that the people from the Windrush generation who were deported illegally. This is why the British government stay running around naming lines after us and say,
you came on the back of your parents' passports, so you had no documentation. So you were denied access of housing, health care, bank accounts, driver's license. And you were immigrated and put in a detention center and sent back to the Caribbean. Yeah, they got y'all ass.
In up compensation scheme for the Windrush generation.
It says the claims take months. The process and the compensations offers are insultingly small. Well, you showing us Black Americans. You're talking about they're paying you and this and this and this. Let me say something to you, honey. They said huge backlog of cases still to be resolved. And it said the Windrush scandal was not an accident. They did that shit on purpose. It says the Windrush scandal wasn't no accident. That means it was designed. And yeah, you said something about that payment that they're paying you. Found that only 5.8% of the people who are believed to be eligible for compensation have received a payment, and shockingly 23 people have now died, never seeing a penny of their compensation owed. 5.8. Yeah, you got us Black Americans.
Meanwhile, what compensation did your grandparents get from the white people in America?
It's always money with y'all. I tell you what we gained. 14th Amendment, 13th Amendment of 1865, freeing enslaved African Americans. 14th Amendment of 1868, we gained our citizenship, unlike you. We got that 15th Amendment, voting rights, given to black men so they can obtain office. First black men to obtain office, Hamrell and Blanchett Bruce, being the first African Americans to hold public office. What about y'all? And in 1948, when your people were coming over to Britain under Harry Truman, we were given deployment access and employment access as stupid black Americans. That's also including in the military. We gained pre-employment access. We were able to gain college educations at historical black colleges. Do y'all have any of those?
Still ain't got that 2 acres and a mule yet, innit?
Oh, bitch, you got us. You getting that compensation? Or is it the promise of compensation? Or is it they gave you the Windrush Day, held on June 22nd every year? We got a month, but y'all got a day. Damn. Go. Also, they created an action plan in 2020 for the Windrush generation. Ain't the people dead? The people dead. Go off, girl, go off.
Just walking around with these white people using humans for target practice and getting off prison.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Only for you lot to take to the street and march for bans. Number 2, let's start talking about immigration, because you clearly don't know the definition. An immigrant, or someone who immigrates, is a person who leaves their country and go to another country, whether or not it was by choice.
Okay.
An immigrant is also somebody who is not native to a country, and black people are not native to the Americas or the Caribbean. That will be...
What you mean? We're aboriginals. White people stepped foot in America in the 1400s. That's when they documented black people being in the Americas. Now, with your logic, because you're saying that we left Africa and came to the Americas, wouldn't the aboriginals in Australia not be aboriginals to Australia because they walked out of Africa too? See how you making a fool out of yourself? And you also said we wasn't native to the Caribbean either. You disowning us from every fucking where. But go off. It makes me laugh that you don't know what the definition of immigrant is.
That everybody that follows after them are immigrants. Ancestral immigrants.
Girl, what the fuck is an ancestral immigrant? You're just making up shit now.
Caribbeans and African Americans.
You want us to be in the same category as you. Like we're not immigrants. So it's not no Caribbeans and African Americans. Nah. I'm making a part 2 to this.
Ancestral immigrants.
So I'm going to start off where I ended, where you said ancestral immigrants. And I guess you thought the internet only works in Britain. But damn, African Americans are the ones who created it. And we are allowed to have access to it. So ancestral immigrants are white people who chose to come from Europe. Let me say it again. Chose to come from Europe to come to America. I want you to show me where it says African slaves. Point it out to me. I'll wait.
Not only black people do not claim a British identity because we are in tune with our culture.
So why you ain't at home? Why aren't you in the Caribbean? Why aren't you in Guyana, Nigeria? If you're in tune with your culture, why are you wearing a lace front with baby hairs slicked to the side? You're reminding me of something. The creators, the originals, Miss Josephine Baker. Like, I'm wondering, why aren't you celebrating your culture if you're in tuned? Why are you copying off the people who don't know who they are? Miss, we don't claim a British identity. You ain't claiming the Caribbean one either. Seeming how you're dripped in African American swag. But go off, girl. Go off.
Caribbeans who not every black person in the Caribbean was enslaved.
I guess you're telling us this because you think you're special. Like, neither were we. Like, my entire culture were gens de Côte de Libre, free people of color. Like, I guess you're saying this for some special reason. Like, you're so busy telling us about our culture and where we ain't from. So concerned about telling us where we ain't from. However, French colonies include Louisiana, Caribbean islands such as St. Domingo, Haiti, St. Lucius, Dominica. I mean, it goes on and on and on. It says you mugs, we ain't from the Caribbean. We don't know where we come from. But let me give you some facts, babes. We was married to your mans. We was married to your slave owners. We was married to them. We was married to them.
Some took back their freedom and freed other slaves who end up passing on their lineage.
So I guess you were going to start telling us about the prominent people in the Caribbean who took back their freedom and who passed on their lineage. So here's Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Martin Delany, Harry Hergman, Garrett, David Walker. I mean, it continues. All conductors of the Underground Railroad. Keeps going on. A list of people who were inventors that were not slaves. Another list of inventors that were not slaves. Inventors that were not slaves or gained their freedom. These are black plantation owners. It says here's more black plantation owners in Louisiana that own plantations. Free women of color in New Orleans. These women own substantial amounts of property, including slaves, due to their unique social and economic status. I told you we was married to your mans. We was married to your slave owners. We were strategic hoes. Strategic hoes. But go off, girl. Tell us how y'all passed y'all lineage down. We're not going to talk about Anthony Johnson, that was released from servitude and became a successful farmer in 1651 and owned 200 acres. And he had 5 indentured servants, 4 white and 1 black. That motherfucker was a boss.
A lot of Jamaicans like myself are descendants of people who still practice their lineage. Exhibit A.
That just looked like Friday night in Houston. A trip down to New Orleans and Mardi Gras. Like, what are you showing us? What are you showing us?
So it's like I said, not every Jamaican is ignorant, not every Caribbean is ignorant. We actually know, some of us, where we're actually from and the real practices that our ancestors used to practice, unlike a group of people I know.
You had to slide that in, didn't you? You had to slide that in. Like some group of people I know, you're wearing our culture right now. You're wearing our culture right now, telling us we don't have one. You got a whole lace front on with baby hair slicked down, with acrylic nails that were popularized by African American women in the 1990s, babe. We also still celebrate our culture and tradition. Do you not listen to hip hop? Black culture includes not only false figuring that you are appropriating right now. For somebody who don't have culture, we influence food, culture, and language here in America. Go off. We damn sure know we influenced you in Europe, creating AAVE. We use that very same culture to help free ourselves and use it as communication to other blacks by braiding maps in our head to gain our freedom. I'm trying to figure out where it says Britain or Caribbean influence on the growth of funk, hip-hop, house music, New Jack Swing, and go-go. I'm trying to see where it says that. That these are the people you said don't have culture. But you sure are using it, aren't you? You enjoy it, don't you? You enjoy it. But you're right, we don't have no culture. Just keep wearing that lace front, girl, and keep going to get your nails done. And wear your Nike tracksuit bottoms. Keep using your cell phone. Also, keep playing video games. Also, keep turning on your light switch. Make sure you use the bathroom. Keep eating your pizza butter and your beans. Keep driving your car and getting on the bus. Keep using the hot water heater. When you go to the movies, you're watching 3D because of a black woman. You got security on your house because of you have advancement in cars because of black men in America. You're up on this internet because of black Americans. You have a cell phone because of black Americans. You stop at a stoplight because... And I would like you to say thank you to the beautiful black woman whose DNA was stolen so you can have a vaccination. Henrietta Lacks. But go off, girl. Go off.
Constantly try to tell us that we're not one of them. Meanwhile, in America, the white people are called Americans, whereas the black people are called African Americans.
Oh, girl, you thought you ate down. You thought you ate down. The white people here in America are called Americans because they assimilated. They assimilated to whiteness. They assimilated to be white. And the black people here in America chose not to. That's why they're called Americans. Not Irish Americans, not Italian Americans, just white Americans. They sold out for their white daddy. When you're from the Caribbean or Nigeria or Uganda, you can call yourselves that. But here in America, we have to stand as a united front against them. They don't call us African Americans. We call ourselves African Americans. It's better than being called. No.
British people, whether black, African, Asian, and so on and so forth, are not jealous of African American people.
Bitch, I know you lying.
The American dream is a lie.
At large, but the Brits seem to have the most to say. And I don't really get it, because the only time I've ever concerned myself with anything British people were doing was when a royal family member got married, or now that Kate Middleton is being hidden in a cave or whatever. It's never occurred to me that I should be bothered by the layout of their grocery stores, or where they've traveled or where they haven't traveled, or what they eat. Although, if you're eating beans on toast, I honestly think that you should recognize you live in a glass house and maybe sit that conversation out.
As a British person is obsessed with you Americans. Number one, literally from the day we are birthed out our mother's womb, American shows are put on our TV screens, and I, as a child, was obsessed with the American accent. I thought it was the creme de la creme of accents, to the point where I genuinely would convince myself that I was American sometimes. That's why I've perfected my American accent so well. Number two, the advertising that America does for everything just blows every sheer.
I really wish the British people that be so like.
Nah, because after studying abroad in London for like 4 months, when I tell y'all, the British are not beating the Americans stand allegations. Like, as soon as I open my mouth, oh, you from America, you're from America, America, New York, New York. Like, can y'all relax? Chill.
It just doesn't make sense.
I swear to you, there were so many black, fine ass women sundress, like it's fucking summer. Nah, I swear to you.
How does American culture influence you at all growing up?
Oh, hell yeah. Even to this day, I'm a girl, you know what I'm saying? Sexy Red.
Disney Channel was such a big part of me growing up.
That's
Hannah Montana.
We don't know shit about y'all. They don't show us shit about you. How you colonize us, and we take our shit away from you. Because y'all ain't shit. But go off, girl.
Black Americans, we think that we're superior over all black people, and that
When I was watching the several sketches about the Windrush scandal, and I remember the controversy was sometime early in the 2000s, they did that on purpose. And that lady's absolutely right, because I could give you a storyline. This gentleman, I so happened to be in Jamaica, West Indies, and he was telling me the story that he was one of the victims of the Windrush scandal. Apparently, he was born in England, and his parents pretty much were from the islands of Jamaica. And his mother, the way how she came up there was through his father, because his father was already in England, and the father was from Africa. And the mother, she so happened to get the opportunity to go to England way before the Windrush scandal, but the father was. And because the both of them had married and they had their paperwork and everything, when they looked in the passport, all that time when they kept on renewing their passport, paying taxes and everything like that, they so happened to notice that their passport said subject, meaning that they were there for a time being, and they did not realize it. And the young lady, she so happened to have to be sent back with her son. And her son was 7 years old, so he didn't know anything about Jamaica. Okay, because they wasn't going to allow him to be stayed in England, even though he was born in England. And with the father, they told the father that he had to go back to Africa. Now, remind you, he haven't seen Africa in God knows when. Okay, and he was an older man, and he said that he even served in, on behalf. So usually, like in America, if you was a soldier
and you had done, you know, your years and experience to be a part of the service and stuff, you'll be automatically considered as a United States citizen. Well, he thought that was the same thing in England, even though they were telling him to renew his passport, which he did. Apparently, they said no. Then they were saying that the marriage between the two of them was not established. Yes, and not guess what? The man had worked there for multiple years. He was supposed to get a military pension. He was supposed to get his service pension and all that stuff. They didn't give it to him. Nope. And all his money in the bank account and everything, because they were about to purchase a house and everything, Great Britain, they took it. And even when he tried to go through the embassy, get a lawyer and everything like that to try to fight it and stuff like that, they told him it was a loss. Meanwhile, the son and the mother, she's in Jamaica. She had to start all over again, and it was hard based on the story. And he had an opportunity, the young man, to come to America because he had stayed with his aunt, and he ended up bettering himself and even finding ways for his mother to come to America. As for his father, he kept on looking for his father and stuff. Come to find out, he found out his father was dead. So he went to go fight for his father's case because he had all the paperwork. His case is still pending. Now, this case has been from 2008, and we're in 2024. And it's still pending because they claim they have a backlog. They did not give them any compensation. Here was another story too. One lady was born in Jamaica, but lucky thing she had, you know, establishment in Jamaica and also in England. So she lived in England. She even got married. She had family, everything. Her family had to stay because they were British born. They had to stay. She went to go for a funeral because this woman was like an aunt to her and she was not going to like miss her funeral. So she went, got the papers and everything. Remind you, she had her immigration card and everything. And she went to Jamaica. And when it was time for her to come back, they told her that she does not have the legal papers to be sent back. And she had to do something with her green card and this and everything. Remind you, everything was copacetic. She now is in Jamaica. She owns her restaurants and stuff like that. But her family is fighting for her to come back to England, and they're not doing that. They said during the time of Queen Elizabeth, but they said Prince Charles also orchestrated the whole entire thing. Because you remember that time when Prince Charles and the Prime Minister had a private conversation and it ended up becoming a leak? And I think that was one of the reasons why the Prime Minister had to step down. Yeah. So they were saying that for years they have done this. They maliciously did this on purpose to try to basically, you know, get rid of the immigration situation and status in there because they did not want. But remind you, these are men and women who worked extremely hard, did everything followed by the book, did everything by the protocol, got successful through education, trade, whatever, had worked, was civil servants to the country, and also help the country, but they still turned around and spit in their faces. Imagine if you never knew what Jamaica looked like, and then you so happen to have to go back there, and that was not even your birthright, and you have to. A lot of people. There were stories on top of stories on top of stories I heard, and I thought to me that was a slap in the face, and they were mostly doing it to minority people of color. Okay. They did it with a few Indians and stuff like that, but if you look at the percentage, it's people of color. All right? Black people. All right? Places from the islands like Barbados, Grenada, Jamaica, they were doing that too. Even in Africa. I remember when they was making a selection that if people don't know or remember where they come from, they was going to put them in New Guinea because New Guinea was starting to have, they were underpopulated, so they wanted to populate people. They're not slaves. You know, that's like human trafficking. They're not slaves. So why would you make a suggestion like that? But those were the multiple stories that I got to find out about Windrush. And it's sad. It's really sad. And even when people talk about it, they said, you know, England has slapped the face of a black man for multiple times, but that was the most slap in the face. Imagine you going to the place and they're detaining you because they have their ISIS program, and the people that are detaining you. And the only thing you can have is one little luggage, and everything you have to leave behind, your pension, your retirement, your this, your that, your money in your account. You couldn't even take it out. Nope. Some of them said they couldn't even take out the money out of their account. And they're still fighting for this day. But that's why when I look at Charles and I'm looking at Queen Elizabeth and I'm looking at all that, and they're walking around with their crown and talking about they're sick and this and everything, like, I'm saying to myself, like, look at the things that you have done to people. And you think you want us to feel sorry for you? No. Look at the politics and the backlash that you put these people through. You know, treating them like animals and doing like human trafficking and tossing them back here and tossing them back there. After they finish work hard and dedicated to this country and build that country. And then I look at people, how they break their neck to want to go to England, to go see Buckingham Palace and everything, and it's people from color. I say, I don't waste my money on colonization places. And I tell them that all the time. No, because this is a primary example.
This is all I got from this video. And first of all, I am going to start by saying that you all already know that I don't do a lot about British, black British, right? I do not talk about them. Why? Because sometimes they are very problematic. I am not saying all, but I personally see a lot of their posts on online, TikTok, and some other places, always bringing up problems, especially to Black people in America, right? Now, the truth is that you all are always very quick to say that Black people, Black Americans do not have culture, when most of you are doing or appropriating their cultures. You can't say they do not have culture, but you all are always on them. I mean, you fix your nails, you got your hair laid, like the frontals, like you get it all laid up, right? You listen to rap, you listen to their music, you watch their movies and all that. Those are people's culture, right? Because you don't see me, because you don't see them different people have different cultures. And that is one of the reasons why we have to respect people's cultures and not coming out every day to tell people that they don't know where they come from or that they are lost or they do not have culture. I mean, if there is what I am looking forward to is seeing Black people all together come back or unite as one instead of waking up every day to batch the other people, right? Well, I don't know, but it's kind of sad that we still wake up every day to this. Some say they are jealous, some say they are this, but this is beyond being jealous, you know. It's okay to be jealous. But when you are jealous and then you start talking down on people, I think that it's a problem. It's beyond jealousy, right? I mean, you all already know the history of Black people. And the truth is that I am sorry to say this, but I am not trying to divide. Do not think I am trying to divide. I am not dividing, right? But the truth is that the world already bought into Black people's culture, like Black Americans' culture. Number one is that even as I don't know how to say it, but the truth is that they make the world fun and make the world go round. Everything about them is very fun. And we have lived through listening to their music, copying whatever they do. The truth is that almost everybody, like Black people, copy them and then bring it back to wherever we are bringing it back to. A lot of it. How did hip hop start? That people started rapping, started doing was because they saw black people rapping. I mean, like, there are some hairstyles that to this till tomorrow, you definitely will say that, I mean, they were the ones that started it and all that. These are also their cultures and should be respected. Do not say because, like, some say they don't know. Who told you they don't know where they come from? The truth is that the most majority of them know that they are from Africa, but they cannot trace back where they come from. Why? Because of what happened to them. How is that a problem? How is it hard for people to understand? How is that hard for people to understand? I mean, you all the time look for a way to tell them that they do not have culture. And most of the people it's always coming from British people and Black British. Yeah, it's always coming from them. I mean, we really can do better. We don't wake up every day to use people's maybe sad experience to mock them, or use what they have been through to mock them, or say because why would somebody say because they are waiting for reparations? Is reparations not what they owe them? I mean, one thing I love about Black people is that they have been screaming so hard about what is being owed to them. I do not see other people scream about it. Why? Because some of them said they don't know how to talk, or it is not in their nature to talk. I love the fact that they are talking. I really don't. Okay, now I am sorry to say this, but this is the truth. I am not gonna lie, right? I don't know anything about Black British. I don't know their songs. I don't know their movies. I don't know where they stand for. I don't even know any of their cultures. Sorry to say this, but it's true. I don't know British culture. I mean, I think it's the royal, whatever, the ones that go around taking things from. That is the only thing I know about them, right? I don't know their culture. I do not know. I cannot identify with any song from there, a movie or something really very popular that I can identify. I really cannot. I'm sorry to say it. Do not. Yeah, I don't know. But everybody, like, when you come out and ask the world what is going on with Black people, you hear Kanye West, even if I know that one is a sellout, right? You hear all the people that made music what they are, right? You hear all the movie stars. There is nothing you will not hear. You will hear so many, to the extent that so many, even all over the world, people started copying their lifestyle, their outfit, their hair, everything from beginning to the end. A lot of people also wanted to speak like you, by all means. That is how they have influenced the world. That's why also, if you look around, I mean, I don't also need to tell you all, and I am not saying it because I am trying to defend everybody. We all are the same. We all are Black people. But when I say the truth, I am going to say it. That's why they are natural influencers. They literally influence everything. And from the video also, you saw people saying that, that they live for US culture, their movies, everything and all that. I did not say that. All the time, Christmas, I rarely watch movies. The only time I watch movies, probably Christmas period with my students. I mean, like, I can assign anybody to do movies with them. I cannot stay where I don't know how to watch movies. But we have sit back every year waiting for Black movies that will drop during Christmas period, because we all want to see what it's going to, like, what the spirit they are bringing for Christmas and all that. But I am sorry, British, do not kill me, but I am telling you the truth. I do not know any British movies. I cannot identify. So we really can do better and stop coming every day to batch one another, right? Stop waking up every day to provoke people, because I see it as provocation. You don't gain anything trying to provoke people. I hope that makes sense. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.